Hey guys, this is Z from Simple Baduk, and today we're gonna take a look at 8 lessons on middle game. So we are starting a new series, and this is gonna be on the middle game. And there are gonna be 8 lessons. First one is identify the situation. Second one, how to get the territories, how to expand, invade, reduce, how to pick a fight, how to tenuki, and the core lesson at the end. Today, the first lesson is gonna be on how to identify the situation. There are generally 3 kinds of situations in the middle game: potential oriented situation, and territorial situation, and fighting kind of situation. Potential oriented situation is where both of you or one of you has a chance of getting a great huge moyo. So trying to grow that moyo or trying to reduce that moyo is the priority of that situation. And territory oriented situation is when you have both players don't really have a chance of getting a moyo, so getting more points as fast as you can is the goal of that middle game. And the fight, it's pretty self-explanatory. One of you is caught off guard or did some terrible mistakes or invaded too deeply, and there is a fight, and there is nothing more important than that fight in that game. You don't abandon that fight and start to grow something elsewhere, and you don't abandon that fight and trying to invade 3-3 elsewhere, because that fight is the main thing that's going on in that situation. But the difficult thing about this thing is, I'll just start it and show you. The difficult thing about this is the game is constantly changing. It could start as a Moyo oriented game, and then it turns into fight oriented game, and then it turns back into territory oriented game if nobody dies at the end. So let's take a look at the first problem. We have as black, where would you play? Actually, as white, where would you play? We have A, B, C, and D. If we look at this situation, black has a huge wall over here, and white also has some kind of base for a moyo over here. So in this kind of case, A and D should be in the consideration. If you choose C or B or even 3-3, let me show you what could happen. If white invades into this 3-3, then black is going to quickly get a sente and start to grow this moyo. And while growing this moyo, white's moyo is shrinking. So everything is very low on this side. So this is not the best way to play as white. So that being said, white should consider A or D. But the thing is, if white plays A, then black can ignore white and still grow this thing. So black can still have this moyo, and while growing, black is reducing white's moyo over there. So in this case, the answer would be D. From here, if black answers white, white can continue growing, and if black still wants some territories, white can continue growing like this. And this is going to be white growing white's moyo while reducing black's moyo. Earlier I said it could turn from a potential oriented game into fight oriented game, and it transition into a territory oriented game, and this is a great example. When white plays this, black can clearly see that white is growing something over here. So black could shoulder hit. When white plays this, black can keep running like this. And now it is a fight-oriented game. White should focus on attacking these black stones. Let's say these black stones somehow survived the attack, and now, let's say we did something like this, and black is alive. Now, the board is broken into pieces, which means now it is a territory-oriented game where nobody has a chance of growing something huge. So in this kind of board situation, territory is the most important thing. Okay, in this situation, we have A, B, C, and D. As black, where would you play? It is very easy to get the right answer when you are solving problems like this, because we have ABCDs laid out for you and you know the topic of this whole thing. But when you are playing the game, it's very easy to make some weird mistakes. First of all, C is not the answer because it's too small. I mean, you play this and white is still gonna ignore you. So that is obviously not the answer. We have A, B, and D left. A is merely you securing like 5-10 points over here. So that is too small in this stage. Then we have B and D. D seems pretty good because if you invade, you can guarantee that you're gonna be alive. But when you invade, let's use the simplest one. After you invade, white's gonna get a sente, and white can just throw stones over here. I mean, white could even do better. Like, what are you gonna do if white does this, right? All the stones you have invested to grow something in the middle has gone to ashes. Nobody cares about these stones anymore because white has taken your corner, white has points over here, and this corner is open. Black doesn't really have a lot of points on this board, and white has a lot of points and also reducing your potential. So in this kind of case, it's better to secure your Moyo this way. Although white has points here and there, here and there, here and there, but you have one huge thing to work with. And on top of that, there's no way now white is gonna come back and secure this corner, right? White is going to try to reduce something over here, and while attacking, you can pull out these stones to save them. And also, after attacking, you can also invade into 3-3. If white takes it, you can take this. You have a lot of options. So yeah, that is how. So in this case, B is the answer. You have to be able to identify the situation. You have a lot of stones outside. In order to get these stones, you gave out these points to your opponents. So now it's time to collect the debt and grow something even bigger than whatever your opponents have over here. So now we have, with that being said, we have A, B, C, and D for invasion points. If you are white, where would you play? And this is also kind of a tricky question because D seems like a very good invasion point because it has a kind of a connection to this stone too. If black jumps, you can play this. But the thing is, if black start to play this one, black is driving you toward black's area over here like this, and you are going to suffer from a severe attack. And this is not even worth invading because it's only like not even 10 points over here. So we have to choose from A, B, C, but A is also not the best answer because from here, black doesn't even have to do anything fancy. This group is pretty much alive, so all black has to do is this one. When white jumps, black can do this, and black all of a sudden got a pretty nice Moyo going on over here, and this stone is still not alive. Black can still jump out, and by jumping out, black is also leaking into white's territory. So that is not the best invasion point over here. Now we have B and C. Here is how to choose invasion point. We are going to get into this in the future more detailedly, more dedicated invasion contents in the future. But when you invade, you have to have at least 2 ways, if possible, then 3 ways of running. If you play C, then what are you gonna do if black plays this one? You have only one direction of running. That's okay, but when you invade C over here, you have 2 ways of running. You can run from this way or this way. But the thing is, black can play this, white can play this. Black doesn't even have to try anything fancy. Black can keep trying to do this. And black's area is pretty much solidified everywhere, and black can try to do something else in the middle of the board. This is not the coolest way to invade. So in this case, the answer is B. And black still can attack this stone, but white has a lot more stuff than just merely jumping like the previous picture. So this is the answer in this case. And we are going to learn more about how to sabaki and stuff in the future lessons. But for now, just know white has 1, 2, 3 ways of running in this case. So this one is better than C. C only has 1 and 2, but B has 1, 2, 3. So B is a better move. Now let's take a look at this one. As black, where would you play? I'll make this one really quick. If black plays D, B, and A, white gets to attack black. And these areas are not that big. It's only like 3 spaces over here, and it's only 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 spaces over here. Those areas are really not worth invading unless you are really behind in points. So in this case, all you gotta do is just shoulder hit when white plays this one. You could just play this, but you are in your opponent's area. So if you wanna run faster, then you can play this. Now let's take a look at this picture. As white, we have A, B, C, and D. This is also not a potential oriented game because nobody has a chance of growing something huge. In that case, you have to invade, and where would you invade? I'll make this one really quick too. If white invades over here, black can Kasumi and white has to run, and it can get complicated. On top of that, it's only 3 lines over here. It's really not worth invading. Same goes over here too. If white invades over here, white is going to get attacked, and getting attacked is not fun. On top of that, it's only 3 lines, not worth invading. We have to look at C and D over here. But if you play C, black can simply play this one, and you are again just running, and while running, black gets to solidify everywhere. So that is not the best move over here, and this is also an invasion plus attack situation, because if you invade D, this is too wide, so this stone cannot effectively support this stone. On top of that, white has stones over here, so all of a sudden your invasion turned into an attack. From here, black can play this one, you can play this when black plays this one, and you can keep attacking, or you can play this one, and this one. You can keep applying pressure on this stone. And now it turned into a fight-oriented game. If this game doesn't go well for black and this whole thing dies, the game ends. If these stones survive, then we are going to get into territory-oriented game where you have to just grab all the points as you can. So this is how to basically start a fight. If your opponent's stone are too close to your kind of thickness area over here and you have a chance to invade, then you could invade and start a fight, and by fighting, you can initiate control the flow of the game. Now here's the last one of the day. So we have as black, A, B, C, and D. This one, I will just make it really quick. Black Haneng is not the best move because this is a soft head. I don't know if I have explained this concept before. Black getting a stone over here is basically like black has 3 stones and white does this to black. It's almost same, right? So this is not really a good shape for black. So black Haneng or black extending is, first of all, is not good. White gets to initiate the attack. That's too soft. Black playing B also requires black to answer another move. Otherwise, black is going to get hit in the head. That is pretty sad. And black playing D means, black can play a few moves, but later on, white could still play this one, and black can lose the control of the game. So in this kind of case, don't do anything on either of the groups. Just play in the middle. First, to make sure you are splitting those two apart, and second, you are making your group stronger. This is a fight-oriented game, and it is very, very important to always make sure your stones are not weak. You don't want to get cutting points everywhere. You don't want to have weak groups that could get counterattacked. Always make sure your stones are safe when you're attacking. And from here, if white plays this, you can start to attack over here. If white plays something over here, and you can start attacking these stones. This is how to choose your moves when you are in this kind of fight-oriented situations. Alright, that's it for today's lesson. Lesson 1 was on identifying the situation. So I tried to use some game examples to show you how these games would turn out if you don't play according to the, If you don't know the board situation, you are lost in the game. You don't know what to do. But as soon as you learn how to identify the board situation, let's say in this one, you know this is a Moyo oriented game, then you can instantly limit your move choices to one. In this case, there's literally only one move that's pretty good. Moves like A and D and C is immediately out of your sight. That's because you know the board situation and you know the priority of this game. And this one is tricky, but always know that if your opponent has some stones on high lines like this, it's pretty difficult for you or your opponent to grow something huge. So in this kind of situation, all you gotta do is look for invasions. And remember how we choose invasions? These narrow areas, we immediately ignore them. These 3-line little areas, we ignore them. We play wider areas, and when we are choosing invasion points in wider areas, try to find a move that has more ways out. If we play C, then we have 1 and 2. But if we play B, we have 1, 2, and 3. So it helps you to choose which invasion point is better. So whichever one has more ways out, then that probably is the move that you should play. And in this kind of situation, both sides are not really worth invading, because whichever one you invade, you're only destroying only few points, and on top of that, you're gonna get attacked. In that case, all you gotta do is shoulder hit. So when you are choosing shoulder hit or invasion, then you are going to see, if I invade, am I going to get attacked severely? If yes, then probably the shoulder hit is the answer. And when you're in this kind of situation, you see a stone that's clearly not really connected to your opponent, but really close to your stones, then think no more, just start attacking, and by attacking, you will get a lot of unexpected profits. If your opponent dies, you win the game. If your opponent forcefully trying to live, means you play this, your opponent plays this, you play this one, and you this, and your opponent thinks this is dangerous, so your opponent starts running, then you can start to play this one and keep attacking. If your opponent also sees that, then he is going to abandon this stone and start running even more. Then you can just control this stone. Although black, this was already black's territory, but you invaded and even killed the stone over here. That is kind of an unexpected profit. And lastly, when you are splitting two groups and you have a group, a floating group in the middle, and it's also a fighting kind of situation, always remember to secure your group first before thinking of attacking your opponents. I see a lot of people playing something like this or this and get a gote at the end and get counterattacked. That's very sad. Just secure your thing in the middle without touching any of them. If your opponent plays this one, you play this. If your opponent plays over here, then you play this. Okay, this video is getting too long. This has been Z from Simple Baduk, and I will see you next time in another video.